Hey everybody, Brian McNichols here from touringplans.com, but you know that part already. You also know what this video is going to be, because I've got another map, and it's been a while since I did one of these maps. I'm still behind. I know I still owe you both Disneyland parks and Islands of Adventure, but I had to jump Hollywood Studios here back up the queue a little bit because we have a new land opening. And as you've probably already noticed, actually got like a map printed and stuff. And a lot of people ask where I get the maps. I actually just took this off of the Disney site. You know, on the Disney World website, they have the little movable map that you can scroll around. I just took a bunch of screenshots and pieced them together and then added some little characters on there just to highlight some stuff. And that's it. Hopefully you can see this one a little bit better than my homemade black and white and colored in with colored pencil maps. So first, obviously, Disney Hollywood Studios at Disney World. We've got the entrance up here. This is oriented like Disney World orients their map. So north is up, south is down. You get the others. So here is the entrance right here. You would come in this way from the buses and the parking lot. Boat would be over here. You can't see it. Security, tickets, Hollywood Boulevard is Sunset Boulevard. Beauty and the Beast is this one right here. Of course, Tower of Terror here, Rock and Roller Coaster over there. Up here is Fantasmic. It's actually like way up here, but it pulls the map so out of whack to do it, so I just put it in this little insert box, but it's this path right there. Straight ahead here, this is the Chinese Theater, soon to be home of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. See Mickey and Minnie right there in their little convertible. Over here we've got Animation Courtyard, Disney Junior, Star Wars Launch Bay, Voyage of the Little Mermaid. One Man's Dream is in this building. Toy Story Mania is back here, although Pixar Place here will no longer be the entrance for it. The entrance will instead be over here in Toy Story Land, which I don't actually have on this map yet because Disney doesn't have it on theirs. Their path stops right here. So I just added Slinky here for the Slinky Dog coaster and the little alien down here for that. Next time I do one of these, we'll have a real map down there, I'm sure. And then back this way, down here is Commissary Lane, where the ABC Commissary is. Echo Lake right here. We've got Hollywood and Vine, 50s Primetime. Indiana Jones right there. Star Wars down here with my man Yoda guarding over it. Muppets are right down here. And down here will be where Star Wars Land goes. And oh yes, there will be several videos about Star Wars Land because that will be a bigger impact than what we're expecting Toy Story Land to be. More on that in a second. Okay, now you know where everything is. So let's start with how the crowds move right now. Right now the park is basically this. Without Toy Story Land being open, there is no ride currently here. They are still building that one. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, gosh, that's hard to say. That will not be opening until 2019. 2019 is really when Hollywood Studios becomes a full park again, because that is also when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will open. So right now, there are only 4 rides in Hollywood Studios. That's right, 4. And they charge full price for this thing still. Can you believe it? And those 4 are Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, Toy Story Mania, and Star Tours are the 4 rides. There are other attractions, of course. There are shows like Little Mermaid, Disney Junior, Beauty and the Beast, Indiana Jones. For the first time in forever, the Frozen Sing-Along right here next to Echo Lake. But actual rides, just 4. As you can imagine, rope drop or park opening is kind of crazy because none of the shows start right at park opening. They're usually at least a half an hour after that, which means there are only 4 options for people to go to. Basically, everybody splits in 2 directions when you come in the park right now. About half, give or take, go down Sunset. Most of them to Rock and Roller Coaster, some to Tower of Terror. The other half go straight down here to Toy Story Mania. If you're in the park before Toy Story Land opens, going Toy Story Mania first is a good idea because fast passes are not available for that. So you could get a fast pass for all 3 of the other rides and then just ride this one first. Now, of course, fast passes for those 3 other rides are tricky to get because there's no fast passes right now for Toy Story Mania. But at the moment, at least, it's actually somewhat better to go to Hollywood Studios later in the day when all the shows are running and all the people that got there early have basically gone home. The lines for the rides are actually not that bad towards the end of the night, and then you get to see the Star Wars fireworks, Fantasmic if you want to. If you want to see a little bit more of a depiction of what rope drop looks like at Hollywood Studios. I did shoot a video when I was there where I kind of just walked quickly to each of the attractions, talked about the lines, where people were going, and you can see more of that by clicking there. Or no, oh, here it is. I always forget which side that's on. Now, what is going to change with the opening of Toy Story Land? Obviously, adding 2 more attractions that are more child-friendly, although I am disappointed to learn that both of these will have height restrictions on them. Not tall ones, but still that they will have them, meaning out of the then 6 attractions at Hollywood Studios, 5 of them will have height restrictions, Toy Story Mania being the one that doesn't. I don't love that, but both of these will likely have somewhere in the 32 to 36 inch range height requirements. Those may be already out, but I forgot to look and I don't really want to stop now and look. You get it. I'll write something here if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Well, there you go. I'm doing a lot of talking at my post-production inserts today. Maybe I've been doing too many of these. So what changes? So there will now be 6 attractions, obviously starting June 30th. June 30th is when Toy Story Land opens. Should have mentioned that earlier. It has recently been reported that all 3 Toy Story Land attractions will be in Group A, the top tier of Fast Passes. So what that means is that you can only get 1 of these attractions. And Toy Story Mania, I mentioned this a little bit before, right now the entrance is over here on Pixar Place. They are moving it to this side so that Toy Story Land will actually have the entrance to Toy Story Mania. Makes sense, right? So you will have to pick from one of those 3 attractions, and then you can get your other 2 Fast Passes from any of the other things. We would recommend the rides rather than the shows. Fast Passes for shows aren't a huge advantage. So which one of these to choose is the question. I still think that Toy Story Mania will be the hardest of these 3 Fast Passes to get because of the height restrictions. That's why Toy Story Mania is so popular in Hollywood Studios to start with, because it's the only thing that doesn't have a height restriction. That will stay in effect after Toy Story Land opens, so I still think that will be the hardest one to get in time. Initially, it might be the Slinky Dog coaster, probably the one that more adults would prefer to go on rather than the alien saucer spin. If you're curious, the Slinky Dog coaster, it's a smallish coaster, looks to be a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit wilder than, say, the Barnstormer at Magic Kingdom, but probably not as wild as Big Thunder Mountain. Hence, the height restriction kind of in between those 2. Alien swirling saucers will be like Mater's Junkyard Jamboree at Disneyland, which is kind of a combination teacups whip, where it's almost a figure 8 track that you go around one side, then around the other, and as you kind of make the transfer, it whips you around a little bit. Good ride system, I do like it, but I don't think it will be as popular. So if you definitely want to ride both of these, I would say probably get that Fast Pass for either one of them. Really doesn't matter. If you also want to ride Toy Story Mania, I'd still say probably the Fast Pass for that one. Other 2 Fast Passes, these 2 right here, Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, easy call. Star Tours, as you see in my video that you already clicked on up here, even right now, people don't go to Star Tours first thing in the morning. They don't really start getting over to Star Tours for an hour or 2 after the park opens. That's really not going to change. So here's the plan. You've got your Fast Passes. Let's say, for the sake of the plan, you've gotten Fast Passes for Toy Story Mania, Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror. I would make Toy Story Mania fairly early in the morning because you're going to be going here first anyway. 9 to 10 a.m. on a 9 a.m. opening, perfectly fine. 9:30 a.m., fine. 10 a.m. if that's what you can get. Any later than that, you might have to do some backtracking. Not a huge deal. But if you can't get that one early, and you can, say, get Slinky Dog Dash at 9 a.m., I would recommend going with that one instead because it fits better with the plan. Then, like I said, get these 2 back-to-back, something like 10 to 11 and 11 to 12 in that range, or 11 to 12, 12 to 1, something like that. And we'll get to those in a minute. So, rope drop, first thing in the morning, you're getting to the park, of course, about 45 minutes early because they let people through here about a half hour early, and they let people kind of start lining up on Hollywood Boulevard here. The first few weeks of Toy Story Land opening, Hollywood Studios, of course, is going to be a little bit busier. We don't think it's going to be a huge rush. It's not going to be like Pandora. Certainly not going to be anything like Star Wars Land. It's going to be busy a little bit at the beginning as locals want to see it, as, you know, bloggers and people who do videos like this want to see it, although I won't actually be there for Toy Story Land opening. Star Wars Land opening, I 100% will be there, and I will be crying. It'll be a mess. Wait till you see it. But the first few weeks when it's a little busier, they may let people come in. They may let people even queue up right here for Toy Story Land. We don't know any of that. At the very least, you'll be able to hang out on Hollywood Boulevard right here, right up until park opening, which is usually 9 a.m. But this applies no matter when the park opens. Obviously, you're going to make a beeline straight for Toy Story Land. Whichever 2 attractions you didn't get the Fast Pass for, or if you didn't get a Fast Pass for any of them, if they were all gone, which I'm sure will happen, just knock those out as quick as possible. I would recommend doing the 2 new attractions first, then Toy Story Mania, because I think that's also the same route that most other people will take. If you're doing those 3 for a 9 a.m. opening, it'll probably be around 10 to 10:30 range in the morning. Then I would say, if you got your Fast Passes for Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror, I would actually say go over to Star Tours right here. There will probably be nobody over there because everybody's going to go either this way or this way first thing in the morning. Nobody's going to come over there. Nobody goes over there now first thing in the morning. It's not going to change. So go down there, ride that, then come back up here, use your Fast Passes for those 2. If you couldn't get Fast Passes for either of those attractions, then you would want to go there first. There will be a little bit of a line, especially at Rock and Roller Coaster, but it should be a little bit better than it is now because this will pull away some of the crowds. Overall, still a pretty easy plan to deal with. Even without any of the Fast Passes, you could be done with all 6 of these attractions by probably 1 in the afternoon or so. See a couple shows and still go back, have a nice break, come back for fireworks, go to a different park if you've got a park hopper. If you do get Fast Passes for one of these attractions and both of those, you'll probably be done with the rides before noon. Then you've got lots of time just to wander, see all the shows, things like that, the mid-afternoon when everybody else is running in and waiting in long lines. If you are a late arrival, which, I mean, if you're a Touring Plan subscriber, and of course you should be using our Touring Plans, they will adjust for all of your arrival needs, but we don't recommend it. We know our subscribers are the smartest Disney World visitors around. That's obviously been proven because they subscribe to us. No, I'm kidding. Well, okay, that's a little bit of it. But we think you should get there before the park opens. We know that can't be the case for everything though. So if you are a late arrival, let's say you don't get there until 11 in the morning, couldn't get your family up, you couldn't get yourself up. We've all been there. The Fast Passes are real important for that. If you can't get any Fast Passes and are getting there at 11 in the morning, it's going to be tough. You're going to wait in lines. Honestly, at that point, I'd almost rather you wait until like 5 p.m. and then come and try to get everything done before the park closes. I think you'll end up waiting in shorter lines then. But if you get there at 11, I would say absolutely use our Walt Disney World Lines app. It will tell you all the wait times. You can optimize the plan in the park. It'll be great. It's probably going to say go to Star Tours first. It's going to have the lowest line. Then maybe come over here, try to tackle Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, do the Toy Story things towards the end of the day when everyone else has already done them and is in shows or has left the park. Obviously not an ideal plan. If you can get the 3 Fast Passes, especially one of these and those 2 Fast Passes, it's still not that bad. You come in, you do Star Tours, you use whichever Fast Pass you got, you just suck it up and wait in the other lines. They might be 45 minutes, an hour around opening of Toy Story Land, like the beginning of July, 4th of July weekend, probably going to be 2 hours for all 3 of these. But you just got to deal with it, I guess, at that point. Then you come up and use your Fast Passes on those. Still not bad. Still going to see it all in one day. It's just not ideal. And here at Touring Plans, we like to look for the ideal solutions. That's what our tools are about. So that's it. That is Hollywood Studios with Toy Story Land. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Touring Plans because we will certainly have all of this stuff updated, and you can subscribe by clicking this right here and watch all of our other great videos. In fact, here's one here. I don't know which one. YouTube's going to pick that one. Be excellent to each other.